Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. For today's top 5 list, you guys selected in the poll that I put out that you wanted to know a little bit more about me. So, here we have the top 5 things that really grind my gears. These are things that just really annoy me in my, if not day-to-day, then probably weekly or at the very least monthly life. And these are the things that I just kind of look at and I shake my head and I go, oh, that really grinds my gears, you know? So, thank you for selecting that you wanted to know a little bit more about me. If you're new to this channel, I put out 2 videos a week and occasionally a third members only video. You know, these Monday videos are kind of whatever we feel like doing, and Fridays are always lost media. So, without further ado, I guess let's get started. Number 5 on the list of things that just really grind my gears are Ohio drivers. Now, don't get me wrong, I love my home state, but even an Ohio apologist like me has to admit that we are terrible drivers. You know, it's one thing if you're not that great at driving in the rain or the snow, which we do get a lot of here, but on perfectly clear sunny days, there's still accidents aplenty, especially in and around the big cities. I live in central Ohio, but Cleveland and Cincinnati areas are just as bad. We don't know how to drive. Every day I see either an accident or at least several near miss accidents, and it makes no sense. There's no reason that we, as grown adults who can go to work, have jobs, have families, own homes, support and run businesses, there's no reason we can't figure out how to properly and safely drive a 2-ton death machine that we use every day. But apparently in Ohio, it's a struggle, and that just really grinds my gears. Alright guys, at number 4 we have narcissists. Again, I just cannot handle the ego of some people. There are so many people in the world. It seems like more now than ever. People are, at the very least, if they're not more narcissistic, they're at least more open about their narcissism. People seem to have no problem. I'm going to sound like such a boomer saying this, but I blame social media partially because people can now put all of their thoughts out to the world for people to listen to, and they think that that actually gives their opinion some credence, that people should, you know, just because they can say something and that they can have an audience for it makes it important. And this has given rise to things like influencer culture, where people think that their influence is actually worth something and that people should be clamoring to, you know, fawning all over them, giving them free things just because of their quote-unquote clout, even though that clout typically does not exist. A lot of times with the narcissism comes delusions of grandeur, and that these people think that they are important, that they are above others, that they can belittle people, that they can talk down to them, that others in the world, whether it be random civilians, whether it be the people that work with them, whether it be their own family, are there simply to serve their whims and needs, and I cannot stand it. It grinds my gears so much. We are all pretty much insignificant, and while that is not that doesn't mean we shouldn't be proud of our skills, our accomplishments, and our achievements. That should not come at the cost of how we treat others. So again, narcissists really grind my gears. Alright, so at number 3 we have snobs. Now, what do I mean by this? Like, you know, you can be all different kinds of snob. You can be a movie snob, a wine snob, a brand snob. You can be a Magic the Gathering snob. Basically, you deem yourself to have high standards in something you enjoy and use that as a way to feel superior and talk down to others who, in your opinion, are enjoying the thing wrong. This could be anything from someone who only likes designer handbags to people who only like $100 plus bottles of wine or whiskey, people who only enjoy, who go, oh, you know, if you like the movie of something, well, you just, that's because you can't appreciate the book, or People that only like small craft brew, micro brews, as opposed to the bigger names like Budweiser or Miller. I'm using a lot of alcohol in this, but like it's clothing brands. It's, you like Marvel comics? Well, that's because you aren't smart enough to appreciate DC, or worse yet, that's because you just like the big names. You don't appreciate the indie comic scene. The idea is that because of what you like and how you like it, you're somehow superior to people who like similar things but not the same way you do. And that to me is just, it's like, why can't we just let people enjoy their lives? Why can't we just let people experience joy? Why does our joy have to be superior to their joy? Why can't we just all enjoy things? That's really why snobbery grinds my gears. Alright guys, at number 2, this is a big one for me, but what really grinds my gears is parental priority. Now, what is parental priority? Well, parental priority is when people who, it's not even necessarily the people who have kids, but this overarching societal idea that people who have had kids should take priority in certain situations, particularly things like being able to take time off, or, oh, hey, you should do this so that person can go home and be with their kids. Anything that simply having a child gives them priority, typically in the workplace, whether that's time off, promotions, anything really. If the only deciding factor is that one individual has children, has a quote-unquote family, and the other person does not, parental priority just really grinds my gears. And here's why. I don't believe for one second that having a child is a selfless act. It doesn't deserve a medal. It doesn't make people able to essentially be a martyr. Like, oh, I made the ultimate sacrifice for having a child. No, you had a kid because you're at least mildly narcissistic, because you believe the world needs more of your DNA in it. You're like, the world would be really better if it had at least 50% more of my DNA, and therefore I should have a child. Having a kid is the most selfish thing you can do in the world, because you are literally putting more of you into the world. That's my opinion. I've talked about it before on the channel. So when you have a kid, you got what you wanted. You got more of you in this world. And that's really where it should end, on the perks you get because you live your dream. You live your dream of going forth and multiplying. You shouldn't also get priority on, I really need Christmas off because I'm a parent and I need to be with my kids. Your kids will be fine without you for a Christmas. It's in my opinion, it's exactly the same. One time I was working on Mother's Day, and this girl that I worked with was so mad. She's like, oh, I shouldn't have to work on Mother's Day. And I thought she was going to say because she has a kid, but that's not what she said. She goes, because I'm someone's child. And it's like, yeah, join the freaking club. But while her reason was stupid, so is the reason that, I should have Mother's Day off because I'm a mother. Well, you know what? You're a mother. And, if you have kids to support, you should be working to support those kids, or a father on Father's Day, whatever. I don't give you any slack, any leeway on anything. If you are up for a promotion and someone else is just as worthy of it, you should not get that promotion because, oh, well, I've got kids. I've got more mouths to feed. Not my problem. You having a kid was your choice. Now, just because my expenses may be less because I have actively made the decision, taken the steps to make sure I don't have children, and my reasons are my own, I'll tell them to you here now. I'm not embarrassed by them. One, I just don't want that responsibility. I don't really like kids. And two, growing up as a kid, I had a lot of behavioral issues that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. I certainly wouldn't wish it on... I wouldn't bring something into the world just for it to, have the same problems I did. That I wouldn't want that for anybody, kid or otherwise. But, this idea that we have that somehow you should be given a freaking medal just because you decided to, I'm going to put it bluntly, you jizzed in a woman, or you let someone jizz in you, depending on which parent you are. But whatever happened, you did the act, and now you popped out a kid, or had a kid popped out. Okay, cool. The end of story. You got what you wanted. You got the kid. You get zero sympathy. You get zero applause from me because that was entirely your choice. So if you tell me, to change my vacation that I have scheduled, that I shouldn't go out for a promotion, or that I should put myself below you simply because you have children and I don't, yeah, you really grind my gears. Guys, we're going to get into that final number, the number one on this list, in just a second. But if I could have a moment of your time, we are trying to grow this channel. Our goal for the end of the year is 2,000 subscribers, and we still have a long way to go. Do me a favor, guys. Make sure, thank you for watching this video, first of all. If you have a, right now, click like. Please just click the like button right now. I'll wait. Have you clicked it? I think you are. Oh, still got time. Come on, man. Click that like button. Smash that like button. Have you done it? Okay. Thank you for that. But, so, thank you so much for liking the video, guys. Thank you. Also, if you could put in the comments, what grinds your gears? I would love to know. I'm telling you what my opinions are. I want to know your opinions. Because, hey, I already know all my stories and opinions. I want to hear yours. Comment what really grinds your gears. And, after you're done with this video, share it with 2 people you think might enjoy it. Again, the wider an audience we get, the better a chance we have of meeting that 2,000 subscriber goal. It took 4 years about to get to 1,000. I say by the end of this year, we can get to 2,000. But thank you so much, guys. Let's get to that final, and it's a bit of a spicy take on what grinds my gears. So the number one thing that grinds my gears is oral sex as punishment. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, I don't actually mean people using the act of mouth love as a punishment on their romantic partner. That is a crime. But the idea that the joke, the essence that it is some kind of punishment. My wife is obsessed with TikTok, and we end up taking a lot of couples quizzes. And one of the things it always goes is, how well do you know your boyfriend? Fellas, if she gets 2 wrong, she owes you sloppy. Or, how well do you know your girlfriend? Ladies, if he gets 2 wrong, he has to eat you out. And I mean, this has been a thing that's been going on for years. It's been the butt of jokes. It's been in movies, TV shows, where it's the idea of, using your mouth to please your partner is an unfortunate thing that everybody wants, but nobody wants to give. And I really hate that portrayal. Look, guys, whether or not you want to do that with your partner is a personal choice, and there is no wrong answer. It's something that either you're into or you aren't, okay? And even within a relationship, it doesn't have to be mutual. One person can enjoy doing that to their partner, and the other partner doesn't. But it should never be this idea that it's like, well, I did it for you, now you did it for me, or okay, because it's your birthday, I'll give you this thing that I hate doing, but you really like it. I can't believe I gotta do this. It's not really something, I don't know, it just bugs me, because the idea of what you are into, what you're not into, what your boundaries are in the bedroom, romantically, whatever, that is entirely personal. And there's no wrong answer. I mean, you're into what you're into, you like what you like, you don't like what you don't like. But this idea that we tell people, and again, I'm glad a lot of people right now are really mad about all the social media, YouTube even here, doing the, parental controls. We're going to keep kids away from certain things. I don't mind it, because again, I hate this idea that there are probably so many young people on TikTok that are seeing that kind of stuff, that are seeing those ideas, those viewpoints, and getting this idea that this act is punishment more than it is. It's if it's not enjoyable for both parties, then it's not something you should do. Okay? And I just don't like this idea that it's like, oh, hey, if that you have to begrudgingly do this, or that it's not something you will probably enjoy. I mean, again, it's a completely personal thing, and I don't see why it has to have this stigma in the media. And again, I think overall, whether you're into it or you're not, I think the portrayal is harmful. And seeing that even in 2025, this idea that of oral sex as a punishment really grinds my gears. And guys, that's the video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, listening about some of my own personal viewpoints. Again, in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, guys, but in those comments, make sure to put what really grinds your gears. I want to know. I want to know what grinds your gears. I want to know what just makes you get up in the morning and go, ugh, this thing again, this concept, this idea, this what about society just really, really grinds your gears, guys. I want to know, because I want to know about my audience. And I definitely want you to show up for the next video. And until then, alpha great day and an even beta tomorrow. Bye-bye.